Anyways, we are back with another part of Two Sides of the Same Turnabout. Sheesh, what's up with this place? Really? A ship? According to the map in the servants' quarters, it's gotta be here, somewhere. There's so much random stuff here. Geez, these rich people have strange hobbies. Seriously, what is this thing? It's a Foucault pendulum. It was invented to demonstrate the rotation of the Earth. Mrs. Verse, did I surprise you? My apologies. Did you get lost? You don't need to clean here. Actually, I was kind of curious about what's in this place. I'm sorry. I see. The curiosity of young people. You could not resist a room called Special Exhibit Room. She doesn't seem too mad. Phew. So, what's your opinion? Huh? On what you're seeing here? Oh, well, I don't think I can judge, but it seems quite random. You're being honest. Not bad. I can see why Lady Allard held you in high regard. Thank you, Mrs. Verse. I should probably get back to cleaning now. Titania and Meadow. Spare me a few more moments. Now that I know you're being honest, let's hear your opinion. Oh jeez, what's this now? You're serving as a maid right now. What do you think is the essence of a maid? The heck? I'd say comprehensive knowledge about housework and efficient cleaning, preferably experience. That's a really pragmatic answer. Well, if I was serving a male master, looking young might also help. Do you really think any of that is needed? I don't. The real essence of a servant is the intent to serve their master in the best way possible, to make them happy. Can you see the difference between a room cleaned with that good intent and one without? Or taste the difference between a meal made happily and one made out of mere duty? I can. All due respect. Telling a servant to just want to make their master happy isn't really easily applicable advice that would help them get better at their job. So, you still stand up for your own opinion, even though I just disagreed. I like you. You're not worried about displeasing your employer. Yeah, I know that's how you people work. They're used to everyone agreeing with them, so switching it up like this impresses them easily. I heard you don't intend on being a servant forever, so it shouldn't have surprised me. As a reward, I'll give you a tour of my special collection. I'm interested in your opinion. What? Wait, this could be actually good. This could actually be good. God dang, people. Oh well. I'll fix it so that it sounds right to me at least, but if you're actually playing through it long, then you can read it however you want and not fix it in your speech, unlike me. Because, yeah. Very well then. What do you think about this pendulum? I'm not really well versed in these things. How does this huge thing demonstrate anything? The Foucault pendulum was named after its creator, Leon, I'll say Leon, because, yeah, Leon Foucault. It demonstrates the rotation of the Earth by slowly altering the direction it seems. Well, it's more appropriate to say that it keeps swinging in the same direction. It's the ground beneath it that's slowly turning, the earth itself. Right now, it's swinging parallel to that wall, yes? If you were to return in a few hours, you'd see that it will be swinging in a different direction. Oh, I get it. Now, I used to have pins set up in a circle in the ground that the pendulum would knock over. However, I eventually grew tired of having to set them up every day. Still quite fascinating, isn't it? I suppose. I like to wonder if this isn't a perfect demonstration of our lives as humans. Dear God, I'm going to get a lecture on all this stuff now, ain't I? As time passes, so do we change. Some of us keep swinging on in the same direction though, just like this pendulum. It's not we that change, just the world around us. Good. I see a map in the background of North America, or at least the USA, part of Mexico, Canada, or why do I say Canada when it's Canada? I don't know. And of course part of Russia. We seem different, but it's because everyone else's perception has changed. That's very much why VerseCore is on the decline. We kept doing the same thing, but the times have changed. The demands have changed. It's futile to fight the times, just like you can't stop the rotation of the Earth. That's something we should have realized sooner. Right, I've heard her business isn't doing too well. I guess that's pretty deep. It's deep, bruh. You're freaking deep. That's deep, bruh. Whatever. Now you're not being honest. Oh, it's really quite interesting. I've learned something new about science. Oh, there it is again. The practical attitude. In that case, why don't we move on to something more capitalistic? Coins? Now this seems much more like what you'd normally collect. Rare coins, ancient coins, it's quite interesting. There have been thousands of motifs put on coins over the centuries, but the basic shape and concept of coins remain the same. Plato would say this is because the idea of a coin is timeless. I'm sorry, I've never paid much attention during philosophy class. Not that I went to much school in the first place. Well, maybe another approach, then. She really loves talking about her gallery with someone. Well, gotta endure it. Heads or tails, obverse or reverse. Do you think it's coincidence a coin has exactly two sides? I'd say it's for convenience. Having any more than two sides would make it harder to carry them. Oh, but what about the round shape? Well, I wouldn't want any corners to constantly cut holes in my pockets. I should in fact have expected this. Still, listen to my interpretation. I'll grant you the circle, though I'd explain it was chosen because it was a more perfect shape. However, heads and tails, obverse and reverse. They're a demonstration of the inherent duality of this world. Here we go again. Think about it, there are two sides to everything. Good and evil, day and night, black and white, protons and electrons. Even our modern information processing is found on binary code. Stop freaking out, mouse! This is suddenly going in a surprisingly scientific direction. I mean, after saying... Ooh, really? Don't mind me. There we go. I mean, after saying something so artful about the pendulum, which was a scientific experiment. Oh, I love both science and art. They are another perfect example of the dualistic nature of the world. A famous author once had something wise to say about those two things. Art keeps science from becoming inhuman, and science keeps art from becoming ridiculous. Neither of them are independent, nor more important. They are the two kinds of truth, the one that lights away, and the one that warms the heart. The sigh. What about the truth that makes you fall asleep? You don't seem too interested in learning more about coins. What a shame. Let's move on then. I'm sure you've noticed the ship. Pretty hard to miss. It's beyond me why anyone would make the effort to get that transported into a building. Well, this ship actually has a history, of course. It's not just any ship. It was once known as the Black Raven, a pirate ship belonging to Vera Shipley. Shipley was a feared pirate at the time. This seems kind of small for a feared pirate ship. However, she was eventually defeated by an admiral of the English Navy. The admiral kept and repaired the ship and made it into his new flagship. It was from then on known as the Holy Flame. Several years later, the admiral fell victim to a mutiny. The new captain betrayed the crown and turned it back into a pirate. He renamed it into Queen Luna's Revenge for unknown reasons. So I wonder, what are we supposed to call this ship now? What's its true name? What's the point? Well, I'd either go with its first name or the most recent one. But that's not all. Because of the constant battles, it underwent several repairs. Are you familiar with Theseus's paradox? As I've said before, I'm not that well educated in those matters. This ship had its individual parts replaced, and its name changed several times on top of that. All the original parts may be gone by now. Can it really still be considered the same ship? Sure, it still looks the same, but its looks is all that remained constant. Even its purpose was different here and there. It's another example of how we may be changed by time. Even if someone still looks the same in 10 years, are they really still the same? So deep. No. But of course. Anyways, time can do a lot to even the ones of us that are most resistant to change. Even someone as sturdy as a ship. So, what do you think? I'd never think this hard about it. Wait, what? I'd never think this hard about it. As long as the ship still serves its function, it doesn't matter whether it's not really the original anymore. I saw that answer coming. Maybe I'll have more luck with simple painting. You see those two close to each other on the wall there? Those two portraits? They look similar. Were they brothers? Actually, this is the same person at different points in his life. Oh, he's looking really different in the second one. You seem more interested than before. From? Well, what the freak? I'm not sure I skipped one, but... Anyways. Well, he looks like a somewhat bored king in the left one. The right one seems more like a mischievous villain. Haven't ever seen anybody change that much. Oh, but that is because you haven't seen the time in between. That's the interesting part. By just taking those two moments, they seem like completely different people. If you had been with them during their life, It probably would have been more gradual changes, so you wouldn't notice. Just seeing those 2 points, you realize what time can do to a man. You can't know what turned him into a villain. In this case, you could say time itself changed him. That's obvious. Without time, there's no change. Fortunately, time also always cleans up after itself. You might turn into someone else again, or die. But it's important to never forget the power of time. I prefer these 2 portraits to something like the 4 stages of cruelty. They leave a more interesting gap in time to interpret freely. I'm sorry, I have no idea what that is. Oh, it's a series of paintings depicting a man slowly escalating his cruelty. In the end, he meets an equally cruel fate. However, it doesn't show what the man was like before he turned cruel. It's too fixed on one side of the coin, instead of showing both. Suddenly tying it back to that. Well, I'm probably boring you with all of this. It's supposed to listen to my master's wishes, no? That's true. I'm just getting a little sentimental, I suppose. You've probably heard that I'll most likely be forced to part with most of these soon. Most of these? Shouldn't only one of these add up to quite a bit of cash already? Not quite. My gallery doesn't really feature that many pieces of famous artists. I prefer to pick pieces that appeal to me personally because they make me think. Value wasn't that much of a factor during the selection. Really? I'm sure at least one of these paintings has to be of someone famous. Well, if I had a Picasso, Vermeer, or Da Vinci, I certainly wouldn't have to worry about money. I couldn't have acquired anything of that caliber in the first place, obviously. The closest I have is a painting by Emilio Nigma. Isn't that? Whoa, that's that famous modern artist. How did he manage to get one of his works? It was quite lucky. Someone gave it to me as a gift. The rumors are quite true. He's extremely skilled. Would you mind showing me? I'm afraid I can't. What? But you're so into showing me all this other stuff. At the moment, showing that painting is no good. Clock. Clock. Freaking clock. Don't know how long that clock sound effect has been there, but that's a shame. Understood. You know what they say about Emilio Nigma's paintings? They're so real they can suck you in. I wouldn't want you to get sucked in by a painting. Well, that's it for the tour. Go back to work now. Yes, master. Oh, and one last thing. Yes? Oberon, my son is quite a dreamer. Must have gotten that from me. It hurts when your dreams are crushed. I'm sure someone as grounded as you understands. I get it. I'll try to be gentle if I have to crush any dreams. A good answer. Maybe I should rethink my definition of a fine maid. Well, I'll excuse myself then. And on to the next part of both the freaking custom case and the freaking video series thing. So I shall see you in the next video, YouTube. Goodbye.